Welcome to the Windy City's Finest on location in Fort McMurray. I'm Mac, he's Perry, and this is...
Allie.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for meeting with us, Allie. I'm really excited to learn about your art and what you do, and I think it's maybe obvious with what's behind us. But, I guess, yeah, let's just start with what sort of art do you do?
I mainly paint on canvas, acrylics and inks. So I like bright colors, so acrylics really pop, and I don't have the patience for oils. So
fair enough. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really excited to learn about that and see more of these pieces and talk about them. But first, we're going to play some games just to get to know you as a person a little bit. The first one we do is a little trivia. How are you at trivia?
Terrible.
Great.
That'll be fun.
Yes. This is all about Fort McMurray. Just a couple questions.
Okay.
I'll ask one, and then I'll get you to ask your trivia. The city of Fort McMurray is technically not a city. Since 1995, it became designated as a rural special area, B, UNESCO heritage site, C, urban service area, or D, Athabasca Oil Corporation off-site dwelling.
Oh, Lord. I'm going to go with A.
Rural special area.
Sure.
It's actually C, urban service area.
Urban service? I don't even know what that means.
It became an urban service area and was amalgamated with the Improvement District number 143 to form the municipality of Wood Buffalo.
Huh.
Yeah. So
interesting.
We're in the urban service area of Fort McMurray. Anyways.
Service area.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just found that online. I thought that's really interesting.
Weird. I don't think anybody here knows that.
Exactly. Yeah. And even
rezoned and we don't even know.
There we go. Right. And so it's like we're from Lethbridge, so it's like, we'll go to the city of Fort McMurray.
Yeah. Well, it's big enough. It should be a city.
You think?
But,
right. Now you know. All right. So Perry has written some questions for me that you're going to ask me. We'll see how I do.
Oh, okay. Perry loves which genre of music the most? A, classical. B, hip-hop. C, lo-fi. I don't even know what that is. And D, suburban grunge.
Suburban grunge. I will go with, I believe it was B, hip hop.
It is B, hip hop.
We listened to lots of that on the drive here.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I also like a good hip hop.
Better than the urban grunge. Yeah.
Like me, a little Jay-Z.
There we go.
All right.
Great, I got one right. All right, our next little game we're going to play is called This or That. And simple get to know you game. It's just, do you like coffee or tea, cats or dogs? There's a dog behind us. Okay, no, it has to be one or the other. You have to choose. and then we'll both answer, and it'll just be get to know you, and then maybe we'll be friends or not. We'll see. So you can do the honors and pick the first one.
Okay. Winter or summer?
Tricky. I like both seasons. Both are fun for different reasons. That rhymed. I would say, but overall, I would say summer, just because of the longer days. There's more you can do. Yeah. There's more going on with outdoor events and patios, and do lots of hiking. Patios. Love patios. There we go.
Good patio.
You can't really do that in the winter.
No, you really can't. And winter here, it's
quite cold.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So I would say, and then we do lots of camping and hiking and biking and outdoor stuff.
Yeah.
Climbing and
Lethbridge is nice for that.
Right. We're close to the mountains. So I would say summer. How about you?
Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like to do?
Oh, literally anything outside. Mostly I like swimming. I grew up at a lake in Montreal. So the water is like my natural state.
Nice.
So, but and everybody here, winter's nice, like they like skidooing, and I don't skidoo, but I like sailing.
Oh yeah.
I like sailing and swimming.
So
summer is the place to be. Yeah. In the winter, all we do, like my kids and I, we snowboard. Oh, yeah. But I would gladly give that up for like, surfing. So.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Sounds great. Yeah. Great. Yeah. All right. That's the this or that game. And our last game, we'll see how it goes.
Oh Lord.
Tumbling Towers. And you played before, I believe.
Yep.
But just as a refresher, like you can't pull from the first three until we get higher. And we don't do it where you just like the first one you touch, you have to do. You can kind of poke around. Yeah. And then we will ask a question. So let's give it a go.
Okay. Nailed it. 32.
What's your favorite comfort food?
Burritos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What do you put in your burrito?
I'm gonna say this because obviously every vegan does. I'm a vegan.
Oh, boy.
Sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing.
All right.
So beans.
Okay.
And a lot of vegetables.
Good.
Yeah.
So we're learning things about each other. Great.
Yeah.
My favorite comfort food. I don't know what comes to mind. I just love pasta. So like, give me some
Yeah.
really rich some pasta, ravioli or something with something inside.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
That's always delicious. All right. I guess that's all the time we have for this segment. It has
Okay.
been great to get to know you a little bit. So yeah, this is the Windy City's Finest on location with Mac and Perry in Fort McLeod. Not Fort
McMurray.
McLeod, Fort McMurray.
Where am I?
I get those two confused. They're very close to each other.
Whew.
We're in Fort McMurray. It's been a long drive. Anyways, I'm Mac. He's Perry.
Are you sure?
I don't even
I'm
know.
Allie.
That's Allie. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome once again to the Windy City's Finest on location with Mac and Perry here in Fort McMurray. He's
Nailed
Mac,
it.
I'm Perry, and this is...
I'm Allie.
Yes, I had great fun watching you connect with Mac in the last segment, but we're going to dive into more of your artistic journey and hear more about your story.
Yeah.
So I usually open it wide up to begin with and just start super broad strokes. Like, where do you feel your artistic journey began? Was there like a really concrete memory or what?
Okay. So my father would never consider himself an artist, but he loves doing technical drawings. So he taught me how to use AutoCAD when I was a kid. Like I was like 8 or something. And AutoCAD is a complicated program. A lot of math involved in that one. But doing technical drawings on a computer. And then I started doing more technical drawings on paper after that. And I always loved architecture. So I started drawing floor plans. Like grid paper was my favorite thing in the whole world. So I would just draw floor plans and the elevations. And that's basically where I started. Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything I did was revolved around floor plans and architecture. So
Right.
yeah. Like even, sorry, even I just remember now, even in the winter, I grew up on a lake, and I would make a rink for myself, but it was a house. So I would shovel like rooms, and then this was my closet. This was the ballroom. So I would shovel these areas for myself, and I would do it out on the ice too. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
super interesting.
Just
I can't even
remember
skate,
that.
so that's incredible.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm hearing that kind of sense of. So it sounds like your beginning was quite fostered by your dad. Would you
Yeah.
say? What else?
My
can you tell
dad
me?
is a very, he was a teacher. He's a gym teacher, was a gym teacher. But he always had a really good imagination. He likes building things with his hands. He likes inventing things. So every week we would get together and we would come up with these inventions that we would like draw out, you know. We never actually made anything too much, but it was always a lot of ideas. And so he wouldn't consider himself artistic, but he definitely is. Yeah.
Nice. And yeah, so you're primarily a visual artist.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about that?
I'd say like I only started painting in my 20s. But before that, like my whole family, they're all musicians, and I wouldn't say they're not all visual artists, but everybody has a little bit of, I don't know what you'd say, wonder in them, a little bit of magic, I guess. And so it came from that. But I only really started painting because I stopped doing sports. And I was an athlete my whole life. Like my dad's a gym teacher and my whole family's athletic. But when I stopped doing sports after college, all this free time just kind of, materialized, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I started drawing more again, and then I began painting, and just kind of went from there.
Yeah. And I love that sense of wonder that you speak of, and especially in relation to like your whole family. And then before getting into that, I'm curious, do you think that was still there throughout your time, like before starting to get back into this? Like
yeah,
how?
I was always the kid that had her head in the clouds.
Yeah.
I was a good athlete, but I was always the kid that was at the frog pond or collecting bugs, or so that was kind of, that's more me. I'm a good athlete, but I should have always painted. So.
Super. And then, do you feel like where you grew up played a part in like your artistic journey at all? What
Yeah,
can you
where
tell
I
me
grew up,
about?
it was like half an hour outside of the closest town.
Right.
And in the winter, there wasn't many people there, like at all.
Yeah.
So I was left to my imagination a lot. And we didn't grow up with computers or anything, right? In our age or my age, I don't know how old you guys are. But we had to make our own kind of fun, right? So I think that fostered a lot of it.
Yeah. Is there any specific memories that come to mind? Like I really love the building homes on the lake and skating around.
I also
that.
used to build a lot of forts.
Okay,
I was big into forts.
Yeah.
So anything that I could make my own little home, my own little magical world by myself. But yeah, if ever like you can find me, I was at the frog pond or I was out in my canoe watching fish. I used to like fishing, but then I realized that wasn't very nice because I didn't eat them. I just I just like playing with them. So no, it's just growing up in the country without a lot of people around, you kind of have to use your imagination a lot. And so yeah, it definitely helped develop my imagination.
Yeah. And then like continuing on with that idea of wonder, when you did, like in your 20s, it sounded like, dive back into it, was it like just a gradual thing, or it felt like a supernatural thing?
It was, I don't even remember why I started. Oh, I do remember. The first thing I ever painted, I painted a Superman, because I used to love comic book heroes and stuff, but not necessarily, I wouldn't read comic books, but I liked the art of it. So I had this apartment in Montreal and it was just, white walls and it was really boring. So I decided to paint a Superman on my wall. It was life size. And then I painted a koi fish over my really beautiful fireplace that was in my apartment. And then I had to move like a year later and I couldn't bring these things with me. So then I started painting on canvases because I was like, if I move again, then I'll have to bring it with me. And so that's when I started painting on canvas. But yeah, I was 23, 24 when I started painting on canvas. So, but yeah, I didn't really start. Like back then it was mostly superheroes and whatever. I reproduced stuff, but it wasn't until about 10 years ago where I actually started painting full time, like all the time with all my free time.
Yeah. And before we get to that, I'm curious about like, was it a big focus on like the technique of it, like kind of replicating things that you had maybe seen? Or
yeah. So I
technique?
I used to watch this painter online. His name is Voka, Voka, amazing painter. And he paints these like landscapes, but like cityscapes. He does a lot of buildings and stuff, and I just liked his style. So the first few paintings I did myself were reproductions of his. So I tried to learn how he was doing it, but it was mostly just watching videos and figuring it out. Trial and error, and it didn't always work out, but
I mean, what do you think you learned through that process? Because my understanding,
he uses a lot of color, so obviously I got that from him. But he's very loose in the way he like starts off his paintings and then tightens up as he goes, and I'm still kind of learning that. But he's amazing, and
no, that's super interesting. What can you tell me about finding beauty in things that people maybe typically overlook?
I do like making things that aren't typically pretty. I like it to make them pretty. I think, I don't know where it comes from. I know I am an optimist. Some people think it's naive.
Sure.
It's not.
Okay, yeah.
I am well aware that there are ugly things in the world, but I like, I don't know, how do you say, promoting the pretty. So like the sites, you go to site and it's not typically pretty. It's definitely not as colorful as I make it, but I try to use color to convey how amazing it is once you're there. Like how inspiring it is when you're there and you meet the people that have built it. So a lot of people ask me like, oh, why don't you paint something? A lot of people ask me, why don't you paint something else? Like, why don't you paint something, like, why don't you paint flowers or the sea or, you know, a nice mountain? And to me, that's boring because they're already pretty. So what am I going to do? Make it prettier? Like, I don't think I could do it justice. You know, if you want a picture of a nice mountain, take a picture and frame it and put it on your wall, you know? So I can't make a flower prettier. That's just pretty. So I like making things or painting things that aren't typically seen as pretty, I guess.
Interesting. And for me, like, there's that sense of like human ingenuity, like kind of like the side of like you say, like when you meet the people that make it and make it work, right? Like,
it's pretty cool. And the first painting I ever did of site was the Cokers at Suncor, and it was like the middle of winter, and I was a laborer, so I've been shoveling for like 2 years. And it's a hard job, and it was dark. Like here in the winter, we get like 4 hours of sunlight. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So I was cold. It was dark, and it's hard to see the lighter side of things when it's like that. But I looked at the Cokers, and I just thought like that's some pretty impressive stuff. Like the fact that humans can build that is pretty impressive. And I just started almost making myself see how amazing it was, so that I would be okay with being there. And I think that's where all my paintings come from, because it is a hard life working in the oil sands. It is. But the people that work there are pretty cool, and it's like a second family, you know. So I just kind of want to show that instead of how hard it is. So it's a coping mechanism for sure. But it's nice when I would bring my paintings in, like after I was done them, because I did a lot of Suncor. When I was done, I would bring them in before I went to bring them to whoever bought them. And the guys would come in and see them, and it would, I don't know, cheer them up, you know, make them proud of where they worked. So it made me proud.
Yeah. So. And I'm curious about that idea of like hard work, and like, do you think that crosses over to your artwork? Because I feel like maybe some people think of your typical visual artist, and it's like, oh, sipping wine. And, you know.
Well, that is what I normally do.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. Tell me you are.
I gotta say, like being an artist full time is pretty awesome.
Okay.
I love working at site. I did, and I do miss the people. But I wouldn't choose that over working from home. You know, painting all day, sipping my wine. So, yeah. But I mean, it's not work everybody can do, but it's fun. I can't complain about it. It's amazing. Yeah.
And there was also this idea of like optimism in there, and I'm curious about more of that. And like you kind of mentioned that idea of almost having to look at your surroundings in this way and add this color and just appreciation and gratitude.
Yeah.
What more can you tell me about that?
Well, anybody who's worked with me knows that I'm an optimist. Ever since the first day I got to site, people are asking me, you know, why do you smile so much? Are you always this happy? You know, just give it a week, give it a month, give it a year, wait till you're my age, you know, and but I was still smiling till the last day I worked there, you know. And I think that's just the way I have to function. I can't be miserable, and it's easy to be miserable in that setting. It is, and it's contagious, right? Like negative thoughts, negative way of thinking, it's contagious. And so I tried every day to make it a happier place, at least for myself. But then, you know, that's also contagious. So I just wanted everybody to be happy and enjoy their time there. I mean, we all have to be there, so why not make it fun?
Yeah.
You know, like why are we here? Why are you going to be in a job if it just makes you miserable the whole time? So just try to make everything fun and happy. And I think that's exactly what I do with my art. Just try to make everything fun and happy.
Yeah. And I'm a bit curious about bringing your pieces of artwork into that space.
Yeah.
Was that like a conscious decision in that effort, or
Yeah.
like what were some of the reactions?
I did, because a lot of my art was commissioned by people, some of the managers and presidents at Suncor. So I would bring them in once they were done, and I would tell everybody it's going to be here all day, and then I would go deliver it, to whoever ordered it. So people would come in to my office at that point. I had an office, and they would come in and see it before I brought it up, and they would just stand there and stare at it and smile. And it was just a different way for them to see it too, because sometimes it's harder for some people to see the nice things that are around you all day. If you're used to seeing it all the time, it gets kind of mundane. But
Familiar.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So, but if somebody else presents you with a different way to see it, it kind of changes your mind a little bit, makes you a little bit happy. And I've told this story a lot, but there's this one guy once, he came in and he was so excited, and he goes, and I didn't have a painting in my office or anything. He just came in, he's like, Allie, like I was on the bus this morning, and the way that the sun was hitting Plant 9 was so amazing, and I wish I had my camera to take a picture for you. And I was like, well, that's nice, because now he's seeing it the way I do, right? And that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want people to see it as amazing, not as mundane, because that's boring.
Yeah.
So.
And I, on like a more personal level, is that something you hope to pass off, like to your family, your friends? Like, what's that?
I'm
like?
definitely. I've never been a cheerleader, and I that's fine if that's what you're into. But I'm definitely a cheerleader for the family. My daughter's the same way. She's a very positive person, and anybody who tends to the negative, I always try to, instead of saying "How was your day?" you say, "What amazing thing did you do today?" What amazing thing did you say today, or see, or did you meet anybody new? And it just shifts your mind, and I try to do that a lot. I am conscious that I do that a lot.
Yeah.
But
and yeah, I'm curious about your space here, like, and sharing it, in your home, and like, is it like is your family allowed in, or is this like your place, your cave?
No, well, but both my kids are artists. They're very talented, so they're allowed in here anytime. A couple of years ago, I did a podcast, and I joked about having to take over. I wanted to take over the garage, but this was my husband's like domain. The TV, and there was a bar in here, and he watched a lot of football in here. Basically, is what happens in here. And when I got the murals at the airport, I was like, honey, I need the space. Like, every piece was 3.5 feet by 7 feet, and I needed multiple, out at the same time. So I'm like, I have to take over the garage. So I kind of half took over the garage. Like, the bar was still here up until a couple weeks ago, and but then when I left my job and decided this is what I'm doing, I'm like, honey, like, I'm taking the garage now. It's happening. So it's been 2 years in the making. He's been very supportive. My husband's super supportive. But I also transformed the entire basement into his man den. So that helped.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, this space is like last night we were watching hockey in here while I was painting, and just it's everybody's space, but that's definitely mine.
Nice.
So.
Love it. Yeah, I'm curious about like what kind of challenges do you think you've overcome on your journey here?
Oh, challenges. Yeah. Well, making the leap to doing this full time was definitely one of the biggest. It caused me some anxiety.
Yeah.
But I think in the end, like, if I really commit myself, and like I have been for the last couple of years, just like showing up every day and doing something every day to further this business, then it's gonna work out. And like I said, I'm an optimist, so I'm not gonna fail. But that's definitely been the biggest challenge. But
interesting. Okay. And we are kind of coming towards the end of our time here. But I guess my last question for you, which we try to ask everybody, is kind of like, how do you feel your artistic practice, and especially, maybe shifting gears into full time, how has that maybe changed your everyday life?
oh, it's made me so, one, super happy. Two, a much better, more engaged mom and wife. I just feel like I have a better grip on my life, you know, now, and I'm living for myself, not for another company or somebody else. Feel like I've regained myself and my time. So, and I hope that it's a good example to my kids. Yeah, my kids are 13 and 15, so I'm hoping that, you know, and they're both artistic, like I said, so I'm hoping that they see me succeed and, you know that it can happen for them too. So.
And so success is maybe what you make it in some way, shape, or form. So.
Oh, as long as we can pay the rent, I'm going to be happy.
Yes.
Not rent, but the mortgage.
Super fair.
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much the time we have today. Thank you so much for the conversation and insight. We really appreciate it. This has been the Windy City's Finest on location in Fort McMurray. He's Mac. I'm Perry, and this is...
I'm Allie.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Windy City's Finest on location in Fort McMurray. I'm Mac. He's Perry. And
I'm Allie.
This is Allie. Yeah. We had a little break. Did you have like a vegan burrito while we were...
I wish. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah, we're back. I really enjoyed your segment with Perry, learning about your artistic journey and all about that. But of course, we have to see the art, the visual art. Yeah. We want to see it, right? Yeah. And we got little hints behind you, but now we have the pieces. So tell us about this first piece.
Well, this is the Giants of Mining. It's one of the landmarks here in Fort McMurray. Retired in the 70s from the Syncrude mine. This is a bucket wheel extractor and a shovel. And these are massive pieces of equipment that are quite spectacular to see in person. And I drive by them every day when I was working on site. So if you're ever in Fort McMurray, that's one of the things you need to go see. Yeah, you don't get the scale of it until you're actually seeing it in person. And then I put some buffalo down here. We have a buffalo park here in Fort McMurray. We're trying to reintroduce them and repopulate them. So the buffalo are a big part of our community here. So yeah. Great.
Yeah, and I mean, this is like up here is just the name of it.
So yeah, there's a sign that's like a little. I think it's cement or something, but they put a sign there for this site. But yeah, these are retired pieces of equipment that used to work at the mine, and they're pretty spectacular to see.
Yeah. What sort of like feelings come out when you think like about those pieces?
There's like the amount of ingenuity that went into this equipment is just insane. And the fact that like one or two people can like operate these things, you know, is just crazy to me. They're massive. They're bigger than buildings. They're huge. And this is what we used to excavate the mines back in the day. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, can't get the sense of the scale from
really
this,
can't.
But yeah, it's really cool. And I know like part of your art, you use a lot of colors too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing some very bright colors, some dark colors.
Yeah, in person they're not this bright. But
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, so you chose like this is very orangey. Like, what made you choose these bright colors?
So what I found is I don't do this on purpose again, but what I do is I take whatever color it is and I just exaggerate it. So this thing is actually orange, but it's like a deep orange and it's kind of boring orange. So I made it brighter, and that has some blues in it. So I just made it blue. I really don't think of it other than that, like much more than that, just exaggeration of reality.
Yeah. And I know in your segment with Perry, you talk about just like also there's that sense of like making people happy and stuff. And I don't know if maybe some of those colors help with that.
Yeah, possibly? I think so. And you kind of an exaggeration of reality is just more adding wonder to the mundane and the everyday, right? So
yeah, that's a really cool piece. So
yeah,
I think we'll move on to the next one, another oil sands related one. We can just take it over there. Okay. Set it on here. Yeah, good. Okay.
I think so.
We'll see. All right. So
we'll find out.
Yeah. Tell me about this piece.
So this one, I was working near SMS Equipment, and every day I drive by their yard, and they always have a lot of really cool gear in their yards. They refurbish a lot of stuff. They have a lot of mechanics there that fix up the trucks and stuff from the oil sands. So their yard is always full. And I always wanted a tour, and I wanted to take pictures. And I ended up meeting, perchance, some of the guys that worked there. And I asked them if they would give me a tour. So they did, and it was amazing. And so these are all pictures I took, reference pictures I took from their yard. And then I came home and I painted it. But again, like I said, these things are just incredible to see in person. And like, you could park a truck in here, you know, like it doesn't, like a school bus is this big beside these machines. It's insane to see them in person. And I try my best to convey the awesomeness of them on canvas, but it's very hard. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see in person.
Absolutely, yeah. And I love that story about how you got access to these things.
Hey, you never know who you're going to meet, right? So
yeah.
I love painting anything mechanical.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Again, probably because of my father. He's very mechanical.
The background.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like there's also those stories attached to the things and the people that use them, and you said that pride in your work and stuff. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. Well, great. I think we can switch gears to another piece. We're going to get away from the oil sands, and I'll grab the other one. Nope. Thank you. And more of a location piece.
Oh yeah, this is what I did for fun.
Yeah. Now I don't know if I recognize this area, but where is this?
It's post-apocalyptic Montreal.
All right.
Downtown. For those who have been there, this is the Bay, the department store, the Bay. And this is one of the main streets in Montreal. And I know we were watching a lot of Walking Dead at the time. But I just seeing like the old buildings, which I love painting, but then also adding in some nature. And I don't often do flowers or, you know, leaves or anything. And this is actually the first one I've ever done. So it was a learning curve. But I did because my kids like Easter eggs or eggs or whatever. So they're like, you should put in some zombies. So I have a zombie owl, a zombie kitten, and a zombie deer hidden in this painting.
I don't know if we can find those things. We won't point them out, but we'll let the viewers look for them. Yeah. That's fun. So that was more your kids' idea, maybe? Or
maybe, a little bit. It was just something, I don't know. Sometimes I need to do something a little different. And sometimes after doing a lot of oil sands paintings, I want to do something pretty, I guess.
Yeah. All right, I think we have time for our last piece. Switch this out. Good. Oh yeah, that one's small. We need help. Yeah, and
very
so
strong.
I think you mentioned this earlier. This is your current
Yeah, this is the last one I did. I finished it yesterday.
Yeah, good. It's all done. Just in time for us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Actually, that was something I needed to finish before you guys got here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is George Street in Newfoundland. And I've been there once and had a blast. And we have multiple friends from Newfoundland up here in Fort McMurray. There's a huge Newfoundland population. So it's something that I know people here would appreciate, and also something that brings me happy memories, and something that I knew that my friends from there would really like. So that's why I did this. And George Street is very colorful on its own, so I didn't actually have to exaggerate the colors too much, but it's a fun time.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, with the colors, obviously it's very different than like your oil sands pieces. Yeah, and then like as far as even like the buildings and how they're kind of located in the painting themselves.
Well, that's one of the things I've noticed I like doing a lot. I like doing like composite pieces, like not just seeing one point of view, but seeing multiple points of view. And I find that if you do, if I just paint the street, it's very limited in what you can see. And I want to be able to see everything at once. And I think that's what I've started doing with all my paintings. I pick the best parts of it, and then I highlight them, and I put them all together so you can just, really see it. Yeah.
No, I think it's a really compelling thing for sure. And awesome. Well, thanks so much for the time. It's been great to get to know you, Ali.
Yeah.
It's been fun. So this has been the Windy City's Finest on location in Fort McMurray. I'm Mac. He's Perry. And this
I'm
is
Allie.
Thanks so much for watching.
It's Mac and Perry in the place. Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry.
Go live to create.
Da-na-na-na. Mac and Perry invite you to stay.